Welcome to the Hyper Growth Zone podcast. This is your go-to resource for personal growth, mastering communication, and influencing and persuasion techniques that will help you unleash the full potential of yourself and others. Here is your host, Alex Morgan.
Welcome to another episode of the Hyper Growth Zone podcast. My name is Alex Morgan, and I'm a master trainer of hypnosis and NLP, and I'm really here so you can align your actions, your beliefs, your dreams, and your thinking so that you can create success. And success is here, so you might as well be ready for it. And one of the easiest ways to be ready for success is to invest in yourself. So there's some common reasons why people actually don't invest with themselves. After working with many different people around the world, I often find that there's actually a lot of people who are unwilling to make investments in themselves because of three specific reasons. So we're going to go over those and also explain the importance and the benefits of investing in yourself. I know that I've talked about something similar before here. However, I think these three reasons are really important. They should really change your thinking. So as you listen to this, hold a thought in your mind what you can achieve when you invest in yourself. And maybe you have invested in yourself before and you're thinking about making another investment. So think about what that would get for you and what that would allow you to do. So the first reason is a lot of people think that it's hard to make large investments in themselves because really we're not taught to do this. It's not talked about very often when we're growing up, or it's not really something that we read about. So unless you're listening to this podcast or you're around people who are investing in themselves and making substantial investments in themselves, how often do you actually hear about investing in yourself? Now, if you log on to some sort of investment website and you go into your stock portfolio or something like that, there's not really a section in there for you as an asset in their portfolio tracker. So even an investment advisor, someone who tells you to invest all of the money you have with them because they're so knowledgeable, they never tell you to invest in yourselves. They're always wanting you to invest in some markets. And guess what? You may not even know about those markets. There's one thing, though, that would be really good to find out about, and that's to find out about yourselves. So any investments that people want to make in themselves, if you request even people to make investments in themselves yourself, people often think about it as an expense. They don't really look at it as an investment. However, people have no problem investing all kinds of money in all kinds of different things with no guaranteed return either. So when you invest in yourself, this actually gives you more choices. Let's say the stock market, for example, you're going to get, let's say, 8% historically, up to 12% historically per year if you're putting it in something like a S&P 500. Or you could also lose money. What if, though, you invested, let's say, $10,000 in yourself, $30,000 in yourself, or even just a few thousand in your personal development tracker, that portfolio for yourself? Don't you think that that could generate a far higher ROI? Yet, when you make an investment in yourself, do you actually compare this to other things that you've invested in your day-to-day life? I mean, if I take my hypnosis training, for example, the specific hypnosis training that I took, I think that was maybe $995 when I first took it. And then I've added some other trainings along the way. I mean, I've made way more than that learning how to do this and getting students and training them to become hypnotists, even training people to become trainers of hypnosis and helping clients with hypnosis. That's the most wonderful thing for me, is not only making money. However, now I get to help other people change their lives when they invest in themselves. So if I actually paused for a second and I thought about how much I invested in that training and how much it actually gave me, I mean, the percentage change would be way bigger than any stock investment, any real estate investment, if I'm comparing it there. Now, the wonderful thing about investing in yourself is you're also learning to think critically. People, when they're making investments in other assets, they're not necessarily gaining such critical thinking. A lot of people are saying, oh, it's a expense when you're doing it in yourself. So this is not taught. What if, though, you thought in a different way? Would you invest in yourself? And how much would you invest in yourself? And what would be an expected return? It would be much more than another investment. Because think about it, the thinking that you have now, if you could change it from this second for the rest of your life, however many years that is, maybe it's many years because I'm sure you're in good health. That thinking every single day, there's really no price that you could put on that. Now, the second reason is many people, they don't really have trust in themselves. A lot of people, they would rather give their hard-earned money over to some sort of financial investment or just buy stuff, buy things, buy experiences. They just blow the money. Me, for example, I used to make money and then I would just go gamble. Instead of betting on myself, I was betting on some cards and putting it in a slot machine or betting on some chips. Or people are investing in financial things where there's also fees and things like that. So you need to have a good understanding of what you're even investing in, regardless if it's yourself or something else. So if you don't trust yourself, that's a perfect reason to invest in yourself, because when you make a bigger investment in yourself, especially something that might stretch you a bit, you're going to learn a lot about yourself. When I first got into trainings and I started investing in myself, I started just reading some books. I started learning some things about the unconscious mind, and I thought this was so great. And then I started reading books on hypnosis, books on NLP, more things more specific to what I wanted to do training on. And I thought, okay, I'm learning some stuff, but how do I actually do this? I need to go somewhere so I can actually really change my life to do this. I had no intention of becoming a trainer or doing this as a profession. I just wanted to use these methods to change my reality so I could get rid of my problems, so I could find out about who I was, so I could trust myself. So once I made the investment, that's when I really found out who I was. I started to design the things that I wanted. I started to trust in myself, and this also helped me trust other people. When I got into that, though, I was putting all the last money I made. I was going bankrupt at that point many years ago before I got into the training. So I was willing to give everything I had to invest in myself anyways, because I wanted to believe in myself. I didn't want to make bets on something that didn't matter to me. Why would I want to do that anymore? I spent enough years doing that. I needed to learn how to trust myself. It's funny because when we trust in something else, when we invest in something else, a stock, a company, something like this, a lot of people may just do it based off the advice of someone else, a friend, maybe a professional. However, do you really trust this person? And then you're putting your money somewhere where you may not even fully trust this person. It's kind of funny to consider that, isn't it? So what if you could fully trust yourself and you can invest in yourself? And this could be in anything. You could start off small. You could start off big. You could go for a big training, really grow your mind, your business, your relationship, your career, your family, whatever it is. However, you need to trust yourself. In order to gain trust in yourself, one of the easiest ways is to invest in yourself. And the more you invest in yourself, you may find that you start to trust yourself even more, and that investing in yourself becomes really kind of a habit. It becomes fun. It becomes easy, automatic, effortless, and natural for you. The third thing is we often ignore an investment if we do not know how to make money from it. Imagine that. And the thing is, I didn't ignore the investment in my trainings, even though I didn't have any idea how I was going to make money off of it yet. However, people will gladly go to college. They'll spend money on an MBA. They'll spend money on a graduate degree. They'll spend money on all types of things there because they probably think that they're going to go there, meet people, network, get a job. However, they don't necessarily know exactly how much money they're going to make from it. However, most people, it's more recognized, it's more common knowledge that this is what happens because that's kind of the beliefs that have been embedded in people. You grow up, you go to college, you get a job. Well, there's no reason that you have to do that, but people make huge, large investments in that because they probably think they're going to make money from getting those degrees. People are willing to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars, even move to a new country, give up 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years of their lives to make money for a degree. When you could invest in yourself and you can do different trainings, you can read different books, you can network with different people, you could go to a mastermind. You might be able to do this in one weekend and get just a bigger return on your investment, depending on who's there and what value you have for them and what value they have for you. You can acquire skills, specific skills at trainings that are really going to boost the amount of money you make. So when you think about something and you think about investing in yourself, you need to think about what can you get out of it? What is it going to get for you? What is it going to allow you to do? I know all the trainings I teach, people are getting thinking skills, problem solving skills, decision making skills. They'll be better communicators. They'll be better at building relationships. They'll be better at working with people. I was just talking to a student not too long ago, and he's helping people do something completely different than hypnosis and NLP. And he's helping different business owners create more customers and things like this. And he told me, you know what? Even if I never help a client specifically with a hypnosis session or something like this, I know that every time I'm working with a client, I'm using the thinking of it. I'm going to use these things every day for the rest of my life. And I could tell that this person was using it because I could see the emotional mastery that they had in them as they're talking. Their emotional state, it was resourceful. And you can tell that they're wanting to create so much more success for themselves and others. So a lot of people nowadays, even if they go to college and get a job, do they really have the skills to write, think, communicate, and be really influential with these things? So you need to think about what is the investment that I want to make. Not only is it going to make me money, not only is it going to better myself, it's also going to give me lots of skills, may even help your thinking. It helps you become more resourceful, and it also helps you grow your network. So maybe even if you're working, you have a job, you have a career, and you want to boost your career, have you thought about investing in yourself? Because even if you have a training, there's been students before where they want to do the training, and they're like, oh man, I don't know if I'll have the money for it. Next thing I know, they're talking to their employer and they're telling them about this wonderful training that they want to do. And because the employer trusts them, they say, oh, well, how much is this training? And then all of a sudden they say, oh, it's, this much. And the employer says, okay, well, sign up. We'll go ahead and pay for it for you. So sometimes, even if you think that you need to make the investment, it's going to be all your investment. You've already built that trust up in another person. You may have already earned the money to pay for the training from somewhere else that you maybe haven't considered yet. Maybe you've deleted those resources from your mind. And not only that, usually investing in yourself that shows you that you have these resources in your mind. So imagine that this person also got this paid for, and then they also showed their boss or the leadership team about all the changes that they made. Do you think it's more or less likely that they're maybe going to get promoted because they show that they use that company's money wisely? I mean, there's been students, they go, they show the company, look, these are all the things I do. They really start performing better at work. Next thing you know, they get promoted, and they never even anticipated getting promoted from the start. And it's not that they were averse to getting promoted or new choices, opportunities, or possibilities. It's just this all of a sudden happened because of the trust that someone had in them, and they could see that they were making big changes that started making the company more and more money. This is especially useful if you're in something like sales, for example, because if a company is smart, they're going to almost have their own income statement for each salesperson. How much is that salesperson selling compared to how much money they are costing the company? How much business are they bringing in? And if they take a training and they start making the company more and more money, the company is probably going to find them more and more opportunities and more possibilities. So always have the mindset and have the thinking that anytime you make an investment in yourself, what is it going to get for you and what's it going to allow you to do? This is just showing you different possibilities, because maybe you start a new business. Maybe you're working for a company now and you start a new business and you can make even more money because this investment in yourself really started to boost your creativity or really helped your intuition. It really helped your network. It helped you to build better relationships. And all of a sudden, now that you can do this and communicate influentially, you're talking to more people and you have opportunities to start your own business. Or maybe, like I said before, you're in sales and this really helps you create more revenue for the business, meaning that you're creating more revenue for yourself on your own personal income statement that the company should be tracking you by. And when you do this, all of a sudden, you're giving value to everyone around you, the customers, the sales team, the management team, the leadership team, the company, and they're going to see that you're willing to do whatever it takes to succeed, and maybe they will then invest in you even more. And that's the best thing, is all of this starts to compound. Because think about it, if you don't have a certain way of thinking now, and you want to develop your thinking, your communication, all the things that I mentioned in an influential way, think about if right now you decided and gave yourself permission to change your thinking. Once you change your thinking, you bring that new thinking into the next day, and the next day, the next week, the next month, the next year. And every single day that you have that new thinking, you're thinking in different things in different ways. So this gets you results faster. So when you invest in yourself, this compounds. The investment starts to make money even faster. You build relationships even faster. You communicate better even faster and more efficiently because of the compounding effect. So that's the wonderful thing. Your thinking changes when you invest in yourself, and it changes quicker the next time. It keeps going and going until it changes. And all of a sudden, you're going to look back and you won't even believe that you thought like you did before. I do that quite often. Or even I think about it when people tell me, oh, I have this much money and I have this. However, they have no plan what to do with it. And I always think, why don't you invest in yourself? Because we can have both. We can have lots of money and we can have really good thinking skills. And usually we gain that from investing in ourselves. You can have both. It doesn't have to be either or. It can be either and. You either have lots of money and you have thinking skills that can really help you get to the next level and earn more money. And both of those start to compound. So what would that look like for you? What would that get for you? What would that allow you to do if money was compounding, your thinking was compounding? I'm sure it would be pretty amazing for you, wouldn't it? So thanks so much for listening. I really hope that this shows you why investing in yourself is so important. If you're looking to make an investment in yourself and something that I offer, go ahead and reach out to me. All my information will be in the description of the episode. So if you really want to boost your emotional mastery, your communication skills, the way you can help people, even allow you to build better relationships, make more money, anything and everything, go ahead and reach out. If you haven't already, go ahead and share this episode with someone who will totally benefit from it, and rate the podcast wherever you are listening. This really helps it get into the minds of many others. Thanks so much for listening, and I hope to see you on the next episode.